Happy New Year. Haven't talked to you in a while. Been busy. I moved and I am in my new place and I am taking all of my toys out of storage. And while doing this, I realized I haven't ever reviewed the original Vehicle Voltron. This is the Deluxe Warrior set by Matchbox. Of course, it was sort of a defining piece in my toy collecting history. This isn't my original piece. This is one I obtained as a modern sort of collector. But it's the same toy that I had as a kid. And the one I have as a kid is destroyed. But this one is in pretty nice shape. I'm going to go for a little bit of the history of this. And we can talk about what makes this cool. It may not be exhaustive. It may be super long. You might be in for a real long deep dive on Voltron 1. I don't know. First thing I want to do is kind of talk about the artwork here on the box, which is obviously super cool. It's hand painted when you really look at it. It really was done with a brush. And it was definitely modeled on the toy, because you can see the little yellow firing buttons and locking mechanisms. So someone just got a picture of the toy and they said, yo, let's paint it this. And then that's what this is. It is very, I don't know, it's nice. You can see one leg is out of the frame and one leg is behind the frame. Who cares? It's very cool. So the text on the front reads, Deluxe Warrior Set includes all parts to make the towering and terrifying Voltron 1 with heroic human face for endless hours of play. All right, so let's think about this for a minute. Towering and terrifying Voltron 1 with heroic human face. Why is the heroic human face like the selling point? And also, towering I'll get, because it's a tall piece. Terrifying? I don't know about terrifying. Like, well, this is like we don't really like sit there and think about it. But I don't think it's terrifying. 15 explosive space vehicles that combine to become 3 different attack vehicles: Land Warrior, Air Warrior, and Space Warrior. Then all 15 combine to become the towering Voltron 1, the biggest and most powerful space robot of its kind. So it is interesting that, you know, we are leaning into the space aspect here a bit. As you know, there were 3 Voltrons released by Matchbox. There was the Voltron 1, which is the Deluxe Warrior set. There's the Voltron 2, the Gladiator, and Voltron 3, the Lion. Of course, the Lion became the most popular one. Voltron 2 came from Albegas and never became a TV show, so kids didn't know what to think about that. I didn't know. And then Voltron 1 is the one you got when you told your parents that you wanted a Voltron but didn't specify which one, and because the Lion one was so popular, it was always sold out, so this is the one that they brought home. And that is what happened to me. But I loved it because it was the Voltron I got, and it's awesome. I mean, it's an amazing, fun piece. Super fragile. And here's the lineup on the back here of the pieces. So now what's interesting here is that all of the pieces here that are shown on the back are the original Japanese releases. Okay? So how can you tell? Well, there are some tells. First of all, if we look at the Gladiator, the yellow buttons on the fists, the American version never fired fists. Okay? On the miniature Vehicle Voltron, the fists never fired in America. Same thing with the Lion Voltron. See the yellow pins still on the thing. We never got that here on Go Lion. And on this one, you can see all of the chrome is so nice on this. I love it so much. But yeah, the same thing. There's like, firing pins on places where the ours didn't have it, like on the side of the chest panels there, the sharp teeth, which we had the sharp teeth in the Godekin version of it, but not in the Matchbox version. And so how do you tell the Vehicle Voltron Deluxe from its Japanese counterpart? Well, from a toy standpoint, you don't, because as the core of the toy is exactly the same. There were more features planned for the Vehicle Voltron / DX Daruga 15. However, it was meant to originally be a die-cast toy, and I think it was too expensive or something, so they really trimmed back the features when they came to releasing this and pull out a lot of the missile firing features. But it did include chrome towers, swords, stickers in the Japanese version that did not make it over here. So while the mold of this toy is the same as the Japanese one, there are extra things that never came with this version that did come with the thing. Now, also interesting here is if we go down to the bottom corner here, we see made in Japan or Taiwan. So if you have an early release of the Vehicle Voltron Deluxe, you will definitely see Japanese Popey marks on the back, but later versions do not have that. Fun facts all around from everybody. This includes let me see if I can get the thing up here. Includes 9 different and unique friction-powered space vehicles, spaceship, fighter plane, rotating personnel carrier, 2 space probers, 2 multi-vehicle wheel explorers, 2 ATSV all-terrain space vehicles, plus 2 advanced recon helicopters, 2 jet explorers, jet radar, station armored equipment carrier, durable metal die-cast parts. That is a lie. That is a lie. No die-cast metal parts. Another interesting thing in the box while we're here is this price tag from a department store called Clover. And in 1984, 5 prices, $69.99 for this bad boy. It was expensive. I think 1984, sorry. So that is a super cool thing. I'll show you the bottom stuff as well, just so we can say we did. There is the Matchbox logo. And again, Matchbox is interesting because they made little die-cast cars, but they, like everyone else, got caught up in the robot toy craze, and they grabbed up Voltron and Robotech early on. Also interesting here, Voltron is a trademark of World Events Productions Limited. So yeah, let's see what is going on inside of the box. Here are the instructions for the Voltron 1 Warrior set. Here, notice all the vehicles are just called part, which is fine. Air Warrior instructions, how to do all of that. You have Space Warrior instructions, Land Warrior instructions, then the full assembly of all of the things, and some disassemble instructions. That is pretty much it. We have a nice new styrofoam container that has Matchbox stamped in the corner. So this was a new container for the US market. So was there a factory in Jersey where they were tearing apart boxes of DX Daruga 15s and throwing them into this tray? There is a single box Daruga 15. There's also a 3-box set that we also had a 3-box version in the US, but I all got new styrofoam. So let us go through all of these. Probably not going to go through each individual piece on their own, but I'll talk about them as we combine them into their land, sea, and air teams, and then into the Vehicle Voltron. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the air team. I'm also going to talk about like what commonly breaks, what is lost, etc. So I think this is the command module. I am not going to remember the name of each one individually right now. I'm old and I'm tired, and you can look it up. but you can see the original stamp from 1982, and this is number 2 in the vehicle series, okay? And notice the back, you have these rubber friction motor, things that still work all these years later. For this to be in its like own vehicle form, you have these pop down bits. This comes up in theory. There we go. So this is what this looks like kind of as a vehicle. And you can see here the holes where missile launchers would have gone. But again, these were taken out even in the Japanese version. So kids who got these in the US thinking, oh man, they never existed. There was no missiles in there, okay? And this part turns around, and there's a little spring-loaded. Oh, that's fun. Okay. So the head ship. These fins break off. These tires dry out and rot off. But again, get the friction motor in there. For the air module, air team, we close those up. And if it gives you any resistance, you push this button, and it kind of frees it up a little bit. There we go. And then we have the helicopters. These are free-wheeling, no friction motors. The propellers turn. Now, if you look at these connection points, they're kind of spring-loaded tabs. These don't last. The springs in there, or whatever the mechanism is to keep these in place over time, just suck, and they don't last. So they will still work with friction, but just you have to be careful with them. And they just kind of click in to the sides here. Same thing on both of those. You can see like my pegs are definitely not surviving well. The infamous red ship that is always broken. These fins always break. They have these little 2 tabs that you have to open up. And then you just click this. You kind of hook it in to one side, click it in to the other side. So I mean, as a play gimmick, Air Team is fine, but like you would have been bummed if you only got this team and not all 3 of them. And I guess it's just what made you want to go get the other ones. It's not a lot of like, I guess there's a little play value on its own here, but not like a ton. But this is the Air Team. Here is the Land Team. So again, they're all marked on the bottom. That's the original Popey. Each one has a firing fist. However, this little tab here always breaks. This is 2 pieces. These separate and can be lost. So again, be careful. I would not be surprised if I broke one of these. I don't want to, but it is entirely possible. They have friction motors in the feet, both of them. The feet in the bottom of the hands. These become the hands, as if you couldn't tell. These cars, probably the most durable out of all of them, of all the pieces, have little things. And this is for when you're in robot mode that they add extra support. Little channels on the back to slide in. And this is this one. This one's a pain in the ass. It really is. No friction on this one. There's a little door that opens up here, and you see a lever, okay? So the lever is what will, when you push these out, you can see that they make connectors come out. This lever is what releases those connectors, okay? And it sucks. It sucks to get in there. It sucked to get in there as a kid. It's just really hard to manage, but it is what it is. So to do the vehicle team, this is what we do, okay? So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna push that out till it clicks, okay? And then we're going to slide the black car the yellow car, and the red one, and the blue one. Now, again, so fragile, okay? But yeah, here it is. Here's the combined land team. I mean, all right, it's cool. I mean, I like it. I think, again, this is really an interesting piece of engineering. When you think about how complicated this toy is, that you have 15 vehicles that each one is playable on their own. 2, they combined with a set of 3 to make its own vehicle. And then again, combined to make a large robot. So it's no wonder why they went like, maybe we won't make this in die-cast metal. So here's the C team. And as an example of its fragility, I was taking this out of the box, and you can see here that this piece is missing. Like, where does that go to? Well, it is one of the pegs that hold in something. I don't know where it came from, but it's one of these white clippy pegs are just missing from somewhere. I don't know what happened. Okay. But these, again, this blue plastic is that Popey fragile plastic that's very, very, very brittle. Okay. So for each of these, we kind of take that out. Okay. And then you have these sections that come out of the sides. And you take this submarine section here, you put it together, right, and then you can pull this tower up. Now this tower is not really held in place. I mean, I think there's supposed to be something in there that holds it in place, but time, you know. This is also a difference in the Japanese version, is that there are chrome towers here, here, and this is a full chrome tower that got sort of truncated for this release, and it's just a flat panel, okay? Oh, that is, I'm not gonna push that far. These are tight. Jesus Christ. There we go. 1. Pray with me. 2. All right. Excellent. And here is the C team. Again, it's cool looking. It's just so fragile. So fragile. I don't know if this will survive this review, but it is fragile, as you know. If you've owned one, they just don't last. And over time, these get a little droopy, right? So they should like sort of stick straight out, but they're not super tight. Here is our 3 teams. They look good. Shall we transform them? We can. The good news is some of this is already together, and some of the tricky bits are already together, so you don't have to go far to transform it. So let's start with the C team, okay? So again, these buttons here are to aid in the removal of those parts. Good news here is that these legs, that sketchy connection point it's already just done. Let's open this up. That's one of them. Push that in. Open the other one. Great. And then you have these tabs that come out on the bottom that will become the feet. Okay, wonderful. So first thing we need to do is attach these to maybe a leg. And they slide in with a little channel there on the back, like so. They don't lock in, they slide in, and they are held in place with friction. Next we have the part of the land team becomes the torso. And the good news is we don't have to release this for this to work, but when you're going back to like original configuration of it's just individual vehicles, this thing slides over, and then it's like a spring release mechanism. These just pop back up into the thing. This was always super hard for me as a kid. Little fingers were very sensitive. I ended up using like a screwdriver or something to kind of push that over. There's some nice little detail in the inside cover of that there. These just go on top like that. And then your little submarine goes on top. Finally, the air team. Ah! You remember I said about those little wheels? This is where it gets a little hairy. I'll get you over here for a minute. Maybe I'll put those wheels out right now just so I don't lose the whole thing. See? Wheels. Okay. So now we have to get this ship off. And now it's a little tricky because it's very, very tight. Is there a trick? Not really. You just have to pray. Just pray to whatever God or thing you believe in and hope it works. Okay. So let's go from over here. A little door underneath there. Slides up. That goes right on top. Oh, but also turn this thing back. There we go. A little janky, but we're getting there. And again, like we have those wheels out, but you can see it's still very, look from the side. It's very like not a very precise toy, right? Not a very precise toy. It might have been when it came out, but not now. Okay, so we now put on these. And then let's open the head. A little more. And again, we'll put this back on, but now the right way. And there is the Vehicle Voltron Deluxe Warrior by Matchbox. Perhaps someday I will do a comparison with the Japanese version, but I am not really joking with you when I say it's the same toy. The only difference with this one and the Japanese one is that it has the little towers that go in these holes here. There's a tower that goes on the middle chest piece that is not used the towers aren't used in this vehicle mode, this robot mode. Comes with a sword, and it has stickers, so each sticker has, each vehicle has a sticker that kind of denoting like its number as part of Vehicle Voltron. So yeah, I got this toy when I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I had asked for a Voltron. I wanted the Lion Voltron. My parents got me this Voltron. I was made fun of when I go play over other kids' houses, and they would have the Lion Voltron, and I had the crappy Voltron. I had the plastic one. They had the little metal one, and I tried to, in my head, justify why I liked mine more than theirs, and it was, was what it was. And now as an adult, I realized that my parents listened to what I wanted and spent a lot of money for two young parents in their, they must have been in their mid-20s at that point, because they had me when they were very young. Actually, no, if they're probably in their early 30s. But they didn't know, and I grew to identify with this toy in a way that like I became to identify with the underdog, and I did that largely because of this toy. And I learned that, like this wasn't maybe the one I wanted, but it was the one I got. It was mine, and I should be thankful and grateful, and I held on to it for years, and I still have it, albeit in pieces. The thing shattered and fractured, and the little connection parts, I used to tape it together. Pieces broke, rubber broke, fists broke. I played with this thing like crazy, and I loved it, and I love it now. So, I don't know, my parents, like all parents, had their issues, but I will always appreciate this one. And I'll appreciate this gesture. So, thank you. So that's it for me. I have a few, as I'm unpacking things, maybe I'll find some more goodies that I haven't covered before. No promises of when we'll have another video, but I hope we'll talk soon. Leave a comment, subscribe, all that stuff if you're still hanging around. I know it's silly. I would like to get to 100K subscribers. I know like it requires work and I may not be up for it. I'm 52 years old and I am tired and I have a job and all of that. But I am looking forward to sort of like, after all my stuff's been in storage for over a year, I'm looking forward to rediscovering some of this stuff again and maybe sharing it with you. So thanks again for watching. This has been Josh from CollectionDX, and we will talk later.